So this was my first SpeedyBee build with the F405 V3, the bigger motors. And this one I went back the other way. I've got the original Bugs frame and motors, and I've put the V4 in it. So today, after a few delays caused by a few things, I managed to get it in the air. So I'm just going to give you a taste of the first flight. So just firing up the drone and turning on the controller, the Pocket, by holding the button down long enough for it to start out.
Welcome to EdgeTX, disarmed, angle mode, horizon mode.
So what I've done,
0 volts.
hear that? That's telling me that it's made a connection, because you can't see it. Unlike the other one, I can't see the green light, but I've programmed a button here. So if I press that,
25 milliwatts, 11.6 volts.
it's telling me both the current milliwatt power and the state of the battery in the drone, which is kind of useful. So it's announcing that as it gets to critical thresholds anyway, but at any time I can just press that button
milliwatts, 11.6 volts.
and get an update of how it's going. So next trick is to connect it to BetaFlight configurator. It's easy to take the lid off it. You just tilt it up, pop this in here. In fact, I'll take it right off. There it is, connected to BetaFlight. I'll explain what I'm talking about there. So I'll do some screen grabs of what's going on here using a different way, but that was just to get an idea of the whole thing connected up. Okay, so I'm doing a screen record here. I don't know what I get in the way of, so it's just showing the thing working around. The reason I brought this up was to show something. If I go to, hang on, put in expert mode first, and then we can go to sensors. And what interests me here, as I lift this up and down, you can see it's actually tracking the altitude meters. Not very high, admittedly, because it's just in study. But I thought, great, the altimeter, the barometer is working. You can see it up the top there. So I should be able to pick up the sensor by with EdgeTX, but I can't so far. I don't know what the problem is, but it doesn't. I can't discover it, so I can't use it, because it'd be extremely useful to have the thing tell me at certain thresholds what height the thing is flying. But I'll keep working on it. But I just thought I'd bring this up to add to the picture before the flight. So what's going on here is that the propellers don't spin until I give it a bit of throttle, which is an improvement on what I had before. So I wasn't quite sure whether it was armed or not. So that's why there's a bit of fluffing around. And the next little bit is with the takeoff, where I sort of go forward a bit too much. I think the motors are slightly less powerful than the ones I'm now used to, but they're fine for cruising what I've got in mind, longer range. So a little bit of a kerfuffle taking off with too much tilt, but once in the air, it's nice and smooth. While it's possibly slightly more agile than the slightly heavier rig, it's only about 40 grams in it, so not very much from the DJI F330 frame versus the more lightweight Bugs 3 frame. But I think they're both going to be fun for different purposes. So this is the first time up in the air, not too ambitious. The main thing is, because I've got great confidence in the signal strength of VLRS, I'm not worried about flying a bit low and
maybe losing a bit of signal. In fact, it stayed on 25 milliwatts throughout the entire flight. I didn't get a single warning of stepping up to 50, which is the highest things need to go for the kind of flying I've done. So for another build, a new build, I'm pretty happy with this. As I say, I worked on the throttle, so I've changed throttle settings for both the F405 V4, which is in this one, and the older version 3, which is the original one with the heavier DJI F330 frame. But as you can see, for a first flight, I'm testing the agility of the thing a little bit already. But I'm looking forward to getting out on the beach with a bit of air and giving it a go. So that'll be to come. It's just nice to be flying again. I haven't felt much like it for a few days with the odd health problem, but getting back into it. One of those lovely southern hemisphere autumn afternoons where it was a bit breezy in the morning but calmed down in the afternoon, so I couldn't resist getting out once I'd sorted a few other things I had to work on first. So pretty short flight. I charged the battery the previous night. It's my oldest battery, and I think it lost a bit of power overnight. But as it was, once I'd finished flying, I think it got down to about 11.2, 11.1. It bounced back to 11.5, 11.6 once it had rested, so I probably could have flown a bit more, but I wasn't trying to push it. I was just trying to get a feel for it, and yeah, get a bit of recording, both with the nose cam and the usual GoPro version 7 hung underneath, just to see what it's going to look like as a photographic platform. I've configured it so that I can flick it to horizon mode, which I gather you can do slow motion flips and turns in, so I'll be curious to play with that a little bit later on. But for my primary purpose of enjoying flying and filming in pretty places, it's looking pretty good. So I may or may not get to full acro. It's not a priority at the moment. I'm feeling my way back for landing now, and looking forward to more flight action in the future. Not a perfect landing, but right side up, so hey, well, hey, good enough. See you next time. Bye.